One starter motor. Oh, bloody hell, that is so tight. And sometimes doing these things, you need to be a bit creative. This is in the old one. You can see these are the brushes here. And I think that's all that's really worn out on this. Damn it, these all stripped. What am I gonna do? If I do this, it will be sparking. Just the main power, just that distance, that was stopping me getting enough room to push the starter motor off the vehicle. Yes, that's better. I think we're on for a winner. So this is how the starter motor sounds at the moment. She's pretty tired. I can't even get it started. So I've got no choice, I've got to get the starter motor off now. Let's get this middle underguard off. Well, I found the starter motor. Take off the middle and the rear splash guards underneath. And the starter motor is on the left hand side of the engine, on the left of the gearbox, just here. Obviously looking towards the rear of the car. It's just up in here where I'm shining my torch. And there it is, just there. So by the looks of things, one fixing here, electrical connection. Not quite as bad as I thought. I hope I don't have to take this downpipe off. So let's start undoing these bolts and see where we go. And to give you an idea, looking down from above, at the back of the engine, on the left hand side, you can just see my torch down there, but it gives you the general indication of where it is. It's just next to that downpipe. Let's just disconnect this battery. The starter motor has the positive cable on it, so the last thing I want is to touch that on any part of the chassis because I'm going to short something. So what I like to do is get the one that I'm going to fit and look at the fixings. It gives me an idea of what I need to do. So at the moment the orientation is it's sitting in that orientation on the car, so I can get to these two fixings and then I think I'll undo those first. Then I'll see if I can undo the fixing at the back. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, let's keep going. So it's a double square, you know, the one that looks like a star. I don't know if I'm going to get enough leverage on this. Let's give it a go and see. Oh, my little socket's a bit short. Let's see if I can get an extension. Right, so basically I put on my my larger socket. A little 1/4 inch just wasn't big. Didn't have enough strength in it. So let's see if I can get this socket on. It's an 11mm double square. Oh, that looks good. Here we go, nice. I think now I can get my a little universal joint on. There we go. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Sorry it's so hard to see. It's difficult when you're working on your back and trying to be a cameraman. That bolt looks lovely and clean. That's what I like about German cars. So that's the bottom one done. Fingers crossed we can get to the one just above it. Let's keep going. So I just can't quite get enough leverage down there on my back underneath. And sometimes doing these things you need to be a bit creative. So I'm going to try and work from the top of the engine. And what I've done is I've got my breaker bar on the end there, and I'm hoping now I can pull this obviously and undo it and see. Fingers crossed. So it didn't quite work from the top. I just couldn't quite get it to stay on. So I'm back underneath and I've got two long extensions. I'm going to try and work from the back and see if I can crack this nut. All I've got to do is just crack it and then I can actually unthread it, no problem, but I can't quite get it to loosen. Oh, there we go. Yes, baby, that's what I'm talking about. Nice. So here's the setup. I've got my 11mm nut on the end, two long extensions, and now I can turn that nut. That's probably about 400mm, 500mm. There's enough for you to work at the back there. Gently work this off. Right, finally, there's the little top and bolt that was causing me all the bother. And now let's see if the starter motor is loose. Oh yes, there she is. Okay, just going to undo these electrical connections and I think I'm good. Alright, so here's what I had to do. Obviously this is why you disconnect the battery. And just to make sure, I did a little check with a multimeter and there's no power to it, so that's good. Otherwise, if I do this, it will be sparking. But this connection here, this elbow, which goes on the back of the starter motor, which is the main power, just that distance where it sits like that, that was stopping me getting enough room to push the starter motor off the vehicle. Undoing this now means, and it's pretty tricky, you can just about get in there with a 13mm spanner. I can push it. So here's the starter motor. I've got enough room to push it towards the car, and hopefully I can get this bloody thing out. Oh, so tight. I think we're getting there. Finally. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm just going to disconnect this small cable and I can get that off the car. Looks like a 10mm. Yeah, the smaller one's a little 10mm. One starter motor. Oh, bloody hell, that is so tight. But it can be done. First time I've done it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Just a little bit of thought. Right, let's have a look and see what's going down with this. Okay. Let's see if there's any markings on it. Well, I don't think it's a genuine Mercedes one. I don't see any markings on it. Here's my new one. The only worrying thing is here that this is a complete mirror image to that. That is not the same orientation, is it? That is a bit worrying. So if that's sat that way round on the vehicle, then when this goes in, this is going to sit at the bottom. Hopefully it'll fit, maybe it'll help me. So you're not going to believe this. After getting it all off, I try to fit it, and they are an exact mirror. It's almost as if one is for one side of the engine, and it just, I mean, I've checked on the other side, there's nothing there. Maybe certain vehicles have the starter on the other side, but bottom line is, it just won't fit. So the only other option I've got is either buy a new one, or I might try and swap the components over to put it on the metal frame of that. So I'm just undoing the, see how easy it comes off. I don't know if it's going to come off without any problems, but we keep trying. I haven't got time to go back to the shop. So annoying when you think you've got the right part, you put your registration in, it should be perfect, but these things happen. These things happen. So let's see what happens when I take this off. After all, this is a reconditioned unit. It actually says Bosch. It's Lucas, but it says Bosch. And I found actually on that one it says Bosch as well. So let's take these off and see. Alright, well, this is the bit I need. So that's not too bad. There's obviously nothing worn out there, it's just a alley case. And it's quite good to see this. This is the little solenoid, doesn't it? That froze. I'm not going to play around with this too much because I hope it's all going to fit if I then put it into this one. But anyway, that's what it looks like inside a starter motor. There you go. Damn it, these all stripped. Nope, that's not going to come off. So annoying. Oh dear. No, they are not going to come off. They're just going to strip on me. This is in the old one. You can see these are the brushes here, and I think that's all that's really worn out on this. Okay. What am I going to do? So, going to change that starter motor and get the most expensive one they have in the shop, and it's the Bosch one, so let's hope it fits. Oh, bloody hell. Part next to a post box there. I wouldn't know what that was. Right, so here she is. This is the genuine Bosch starter motor. It was the most expensive one in the shop, but then again, it's Sunday, and actually it's Father's Day to add that into it as well. So what am I doing on Father's Day? I'm fixing cars. Well, what more would you want to do? So this is the most expensive one, but it actually only cost me about £30 more
than the cheaper one, because I got a bit of a discount, and also you give in the old starter motor. Obviously I've already taken it off the car. I made sure I matched them in the shop side by side. This is definitely the right orientation. So it was about £150 for it. What is that? Maybe $180 US, and the other one was about 120. So not really too much of a difference, 30 quid more. But importantly, this is the key thing that you need to do when you're changing the starter motor. Have a look first. Make sure you work out which side of the car, the engine, that your starter motor is on. Don't make the same mistake that I did, because even though on their website the starter motor I originally bought was supposed to be for my car, evidently it wasn't, because it was the complete wrong orientation. So check which side of the car is on. Larger engines probably have more going on in different parts of the engine, so they put the starter motor on the other side, etc. Once you've done that, then go and buy your starter motor, and if like me, you can take the old one in and get it reconditioned and get some money back, absolutely, then do that. So enough talk. This is more than going to outlast my car, because it's a really good unit. It's a Bosch unit, and let's go and get it back on the car. Now I know what I'm doing. I know which angle to use, which spanners, which sockets, and the technique in getting in there. So fingers crossed, it shouldn't be too bad.
All right, back underneath. Oh, a bit cooler today. Fingers crossed. I did notice it's a little bit bigger. I hope I've got enough space to get this in. Yes, that's better. Much better. I think we're on for a winner. There you go. You can see now. That's going to fit in there beautiful. So 2 bolts. There was the smaller one here. I need to get that connected. That was a little bit fiddly, so let's get this one on first. That's a better idea. There we go. Right. So I'm going to connect this smaller one, which just goes onto the smaller terminal first. Let's get that on there. And then this one is going to go on there. I am tempted to go like that, give myself more space, but I don't know if it's going to work. I could go in that way, like that. That might be better. In fact, I wonder if that's the way it should have gone. Because when I took it off the vehicle, it was like that, and this extra here was giving me problems. So do you know what, I'm going to put it that way around, and then I might be able to just offer it all up into position without too much drama. Yep, so that worked. So by turning that main connection the other way around, it all goes in, so you can put the plugs on together. Right, so let's just get a bottom screw in. Okay, let's do a bit on the top. Well, that cable is much better that way around. You can definitely work on it easier. I've tidied it up. I've moved the brackets to suit so that the cable's nice and firmly on there. Obviously there's a lot of heat from the exhaust above, so all I've got to do now is tighten up this little 13mm, which is holding the main cable on, and we are good to try it out. Fingers crossed. See if I can get this little plastic cover on to give it some protection. That's done. Right, moment of truth, let's go and try. Let's see if she starts. Otherwise, I'm not going to work tomorrow. Okay, let's put this back on again. All right, let's connect the starter battery. I like to do the positive first because it means that there's less chance of you arcing it against any part of the vehicle body, causing a spark. Little cover. Right, moment of truth. Forgot my keys. Fingers crossed. One more time. So much stronger. So that starts so much stronger. Definitely it was the starter motor. It's on. I hope this helps you. Thanks if you took the time to subscribe. Yeah, happy motoring.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.